Thanks for stopping by. This is the second video. Now, before I get into the meat of the things that I want to talk about, in this video, I want to lay some groundwork. It is very important to lay a foundation upon which to build upon. In this video, I'm going to be addressing the Black American male 18 through 25. The statistics work against you. However, there is still hope for you. Now, the total Black American population in the United States is over 50 million people. Now, the population of black men between the ages of 18 through 25 make up about 15% of the black population. That's about 17.5 million men. The percentage of black males who graduate high school, on average, about 75%. Now, while that number may look impressive, it is deceptive, lyingly so. The percentage of black male high school graduates to go on to college is about 54%. That's another statistic that is deceptive as well, which brings up the next point. Those who go on to college and graduate to earn a bachelor's degree is about 34%, meaning what? That many enter into college, but they don't finish. They never graduate with a degree. Now, I've spoken to many young Black American men, even under the age of 18, and many of them have aspirations of becoming athletes, entertainers, rappers, as opposed to being lawyers, doctors, engineers, teachers, and so forth. The percentage of black men who end up in the NBA or the NFL is extremely low. Less than 5% of NCAA basketball players make it to the NBA, and less than 15% of NCAA football players make it to the NFL. The high school dropout rate of Black American males is about 6.2%. Now, putting that into real numbers, that's just under 500,000 Black American males who will drop out of high school. The percentage of young black males who end up in prison is notably higher than other demographic groups. More than 2,000 black men per 100,000 black men were held in state or federal prisons, which translates to about 1.8% of the black male population. This figure highlights significant racial disparities within the U.S. criminal justice system, as black men are imprisoned at a rate of 5.5 times higher than white men. 72% of you will have a child out of wedlock and thus be placed into a system of child support. 1 in 5 of you will risk incarceration. Now, let's look at the corporate plantation. That's what I call it. Black professionals make up about 8% of employees in professional roles, and they hold only 3.2% of all executive or senior leadership roles in corporate America. This indicates that while many black professionals do enter corporate environments, their representation diminishes at higher levels of leadership. Now, I can attest to that, having worked within the federal government for more than 22 years. 6 of those years as a diplomat, I held a black passport that has the letters engraved on it, diplomat. And I still have that passport. It's expired, but I still have it. In fact, I had 2 of them. But my point is that I witnessed this within the federal government. I'm not talking about corporate America now. That's in corporate America. But you would think that it would not exist within the federal workforce. I say that it's more prevalent within the federal workforce at higher levels. I'm not saying that the federal government does not hire black and brown people. But what I oftentimes see is that a lot of those black and brown people are working in subservient positions. There is a disproportionate number of Black Americans working in senior executive positions. I've seen this. I've seen Black Americans fully qualified for those senior management positions, but were denied those positions, and white persons lesser qualified and who did not have the time and service get those positions. We have an individual right now who held the highest office in the land, the President of the United States, who was convicted on some 26 charges, maybe more, and he has not spent one day in jail, and he's allowed to run for that office again. How does that happen? It's because of his skin color. There's no way that a black person, a brown person, could do what that person did and be allowed to run for the presidency of the United States. And most Black Americans understand this. It goes without saying, many white Americans are simply in denial that such privilege and discrimination exists. Not only is there a privileged mindset, there is an arrogant mindset. So my point here is that for young Black Americans, you need to know that, because I'm going to show you that you're going to have to navigate into that, around it, through it, to get to what's on the other side, what you want. Because there are individuals who will place themselves as obstacles in front of you, preventing you from getting what they have, or preventing you from getting what they want. See, they want that prize. They don't want you to get it. You may be more qualified than they are. They don't want you to have it. They want it. They want that power. They want that control. They want that authority. How dare a black man reach for higher heights? Now, speaking of the federal government, approximately 18.2% of the federal government workforce identifies as black. 12% are senior executives, meaning that approximately 80% of those other senior executives are what? I'm just saying that these things are real. And these are the kinds of obstacles that young black men will have to navigate around, through, confront, whether they're working within the corporate plantation or within the federal government. It's there. This is America. That exists. White privilege exists. So the system is rigged against the black man, and specifically the young black man who is hungry and who wants to progress in life. It's rigged against you. Many of you will end up incarcerated. 27% of you addicted to drugs. 27% fatally shot by the police. Many of you were placed into that revolving door I mentioned earlier of child support, perhaps alimony. And yes, I paint a picture that appears to be hopeless and bleak, but I tell you, there are alternatives. There are options. You can beat the system. I believe that many young black men have given up in trying to achieve the American dream. It's not that they didn't try, but it's been a nightmare for them. In spite of these imposing obstacles, there is hope for you. There are options. And in my next video, I'll talk about one of those options. There are many, but I'll talk about one of those options. This is Ron from Elders Insights. Thank you for watching.